Hello, welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time and Build. So today we've got Revell's brand new tooling of the Star Destroyer from Rogue One. Now this is one of their easy kits. It's level 1, it just pops together. So Phil, why really are you building it? It's a Star Destroyer. Look, let's face it, I've built probably, one of the biggest you can actually get. I've got basically a 2.5 foot monster one up there we did in resin. Click the link over there to have a look at it, or there actually, and you can see all about it, okay? But from our point of view, this is a fraction of the cost. Yes, okay, Zvezda are bringing out one apparently soon, but by the sound of it, you're not going to be able to get it in the UK anyway, or not through the normal channels. Probably be able to get it off of eBay and stuff like that. It's going to be expensive. This though is actually a bargain, a complete bargain. 25 quid and you're good to go with this thing. So what do you actually get? As I say, it's Revell. They're doing this new thing now, really pushing along. Obviously it's the big franchise. There's the big thing, obviously Disney. Okay, so they're paying a price for this, but this actually works out very, very nicely. What we've got is a level 1. What's level 1? It's click, okay? Straightforward, no problems at all, no glue required, anything else like that. But obviously we're going to upgrade this. We're going to go through the motions a bit. We're going to turn this into something very, very special really, really quickly. Okay, so see this as your canvas. We're going to work on this. Anyway, straightforward. Usual things on the box, all bits and pieces. Quick walk around it. There's not a lot going on down here. On the back we can see what we've got. Handful of parts, not many at all. That makes construction a doddle. Does come with LED lights and sounds. And it's got feet. We're going to get rid of those, trust me, but it's all here and everything else. So in the box, to be honest, we've already had this one open numerous times because it's a Star Destroyer and nobody can ever wait. So this is actually what we've got. Okay, so let me just get the parts out. Ooh, right, okay. So there we go. That's our parts in there like that. Now, as you can see, this is the scale of this thing. So from the old tape measuring point of view, we're going to be looking around about 40 centimeters, a good size, nothing over the top, not next to the other monster. We'll get that one out later, okay, and everything else. But that is your general build to it all. And as I said, I popped it together just for one of the live shows we were doing, just to show how good this thing is, okay? So if I can get it apart again, there we go. The first thing you really notice when you look around at this one especially is the texture. Okay, now it has got very, very nice level of detail right the way over this one. So when you're looking around at it, as you can see, this panel lining, all the little checkers, everything else like that really is very, very nice. Okay, it's all stuff we can work with. And again, this is our canvas, it works well. So this kit is brilliant for all genres. Okay, you can be the newbie, okay, come into the hobby, want to get into modeling, not too sure about glues, fillers and everything else, whack one of these together, then you can move on, okay, and do little bits. Obviously the kids will love this. This is a plaything, okay, so you can build it with your kids, get them somewhat interested in the hobby, they'll play this thing for hours. Good thing is, this thing is like a brick. It's solid, heavy-duty, chunky plastic, heavy-duty locating tabs. It's going to be durable. It's going to be drop-tested, probably on carpet more than anything else, all right? And again, very few parts. It means it's going to keep the kids nice and happy. So basically what we've got, 2 holes, your top and your lower, fair enough. Then we've got a little bag just down in here. This has got the rears in. Okay, so this has got your rear parts in there, literally just like that, as you can see. Some nice details on there. Okay, then we've actually got the actual upper decks. So we've got these, they're going to be layered. To be honest, it goes together very similar to the big one. Okay, we've got engines, we've got some various parts down there. We've got another baggie full of things like the bridge and various sections like that in there. We've got this guy, which we're assuming, got to do it now already, which has got our LEDs. That's really loud. Do you know what? Just now. Very disappointed it doesn't do the classic. That sound is now sort of notorious or synonymous of the Star Destroyer. It's what everybody expects, and the one thing they had to do was put that sound in. Like, that's just pants. If it's just made that one sound, we'd be good. Somebody out there who's an electronics whiz, get in contact with me. We'll get it changed over. Okay, so the instructions. Let's face it, we've got the little guy down here. It's going to explain our instructions of how they're going to go through. We've got the parts for the call out, all the bits and pieces, literally just like that. Putting it together. Obviously, it's got this feet thing. Great for the kids. We're going to weld them up and take care of that. Putting it through, as we can see, it looks pretty straightforward. And then going through the various areas, it looks like it's going to be a doddle to get together. So let's get on with it. Okay then guys, let's get on with it. So, very straightforward with this. The thing you do have to look out for sometimes is little bits of cleanup and things like that. Normally these kits are very devoid completely of any sort of flash or sprue marks and tab marks you don't have to worry about. But just generally have a look around, because sometimes, like we've got one just here, you can see them, and usually they scrape away with literally just as much as a move from your nail will get rid of them. But these are actually the tabs of where they've come out from the production. And it's the only thing that really holds you back on these. Sometimes you get a little bit of a gap and it's annoying. Chances are it's just something like that. So when you're getting together, have a look at the parts before you actually put them in. The difference between these kits and then if you're doing something like, yeah, let's face it, a normal kit, is that if you can't get an option sometimes to get them apart, as I said, these have got very large locating tabs. They sort of crush together. To get them apart, you might put stresses and strains on parts and end up breaking things. So just have a look at your parts before you end up pushing them together, and then that way it can save you a lot of trouble later on. So to start off with, just down in here, it's talking about the lower hull. Okay, so that's this guy obviously here, the one with the dome on the bottom. And we've got a couple of feet. So this is these sort of feet things. I don't even know quite how you describe them. We're going to do ours obviously closed up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pop one in. So they need to come up from the underside. We're going to show it both ways, guys, so obviously the kids can see how it goes together and we can, and obviously that's not a good sign, really. So push these right up from underneath. Okay, put them in the sort of closed position, a little bit of a push down, and that way you do have landing gear. But let's face it, this is just nasty. So what we're going to do, we're going to fill this up, okay, completely, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, rescribe, take care of any gaps down there, and it'll give us something a little bit nicer. So last one on these, okay, push it right up, go to close it. When you closed it, push in from the top, and then that way it will go in. What will happen is this will physically lock, okay, in the down position or the up position. So it's like this, but let's face it, it's a Star Destroyer, we don't want it like that at all. All right, so those go up, and then let's say we'll take care of those completely later on. That's number one done, very straightforward. Number two, we've got the hangar bay, which is the big one. You obviously get the forward and the rear one. So this is a straightforward job of pushing this in. So that's just going to sit on top. And this is what we're saying about these large tabs. You know, get them in, push them in, make sure they're in completely flush, and that gives us, to be honest, a very, very nicely detailed area. This detail down in here is very much as good as, or definitely on a par with, anything that we might find with some of the sort of, more expensive kits, shall we say, and things like that. So that's very nice. All right. Okay, so we got that one in. Then we are talking about the awful sounding system, but it is part of everything else because it comes down in here. Again, you could have the option if you wanted to take this off. Yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day, kids, but it is going to fill up this hole. Personally, I think it's that bad, we're not going to use it. If it made a good sound, we would. All right, so that one's in. Next up, we want one of these, so I assume we have a top and a bottom. Okay, so we do have a top and a bottom. You can see we've got little holes down in here, or we've got the spikes. All right, so these are going to be the spiked one because it's going to go down in here. Again, leaning over the top. Just goes in, clicks. Again, it's none of this is too bad. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it together without glue, and then I'm going to pop around it and probably give it a little bit of glue, but we're going to see how it goes together right off the bat. Okay, next up we've got these guys down on here. So we've got the engines, which again, the bells are not too bad at all. Actually, they're quite nice. And we've got these little blue for the LED for the lighting. And we assume these are just going to be a push fit because it doesn't mention anything else. They do, they just sort of push right the way through. So you come along, need to bounce out the way, get out on those. Okay, and then these are literally They just go in like that, push it, and then it clicks in the underside. Okay, last one. So this one we'll do from the other side. So you push it, and then it clicks up on the underside, and we're fine, we're good to go. All right, so that's those, and then these are going to sit in here. Again, it doesn't matter which way they are, they just rotate, so don't worry how they go in. Okay, that's that one in. And those go in, and there we go, sort of looking like a Star Destroyer, just like that. Okay, so that's those done. Okay, and then it is talking about the piece going on the top, which is this one is then going to sandwich this area right in. Now, does it? Doesn't it? Does it? Doesn't it? This is literally just going to sit. See, it's talking about this part. Surely this would be easier to put this in afterwards. So it literally just sits on top of it like that. Okay, so that is that one in, and then the top half comes along in. So once that is in, literally just like that, then we've got the top half is going to sandwich in. So usual thing I find, if you get the nose in, then that gives you the right distance between them all. Okay, and then that way you should be able to just do that. Okay, now we've just got a bit of a nudge. Don't force anything if things aren't lining up or anything else like that. Just take your time. Okay, and again, actually, that goes together really, really well. Okay, so once you're all in, make sure you push it everywhere to get it all in there, literally right the way round. So it's all a good fit, and then that way we have them in there literally just like that. All right. Okay, so next up we've got the little ones. So these are the little blue ones. You've got the little holes in there. They are literally just going to come in, and then a bit fiddly, but they do click in. Okay. So we've got the 4 smaller engines. And these guys are just going to simply push in just like that. So these are the, there we go. Okay, and then from the rear, these are literally just going to push straight in here, and they are a complete push fit, as in drill them all the way home. Okay, and that's those like that. Okay, very straightforward, very nice. Should we try it? Actually, they're not too bad. So I could disconnect the sound, we'd be alright. So there we go, that's up to 0.7. Okay, so now we're moving, we can move that off to one side. We've got the top part. Alright, so first of all we've got the 2 lower decks, and these are just going to push into here. So we are, which way round? This way round. They only go in one way, which is handy. Okay, and that is just going to push in just like that. Okay, and then we got this guy going to do the same. Okay, bit of a nudge, good squeeze all the way through, and that's in there just like that. Okay, then we've got the top. So we want the forward small bridge, that's that one. Then we got this one, quite nice, it's keyed. We've got lower and bigger, so that goes in there just like that. Then this one's got to go on, otherwise it won't go at the top. Okay, that isn't a brilliant fit. We've got little gaps, we'll take care of those. We'll point all those out and we'll take care of them later on. Okay, so that one's on. Then you bring your Star Destroyer back, and then we've got the forward section, just going to go in. It's going to fit in there like that. Then we've got this larger one, it's going to go in. And I'm just wondering what might be easier. Take that off, put this on, so you can fit it over and click that down. To be honest, it's definitely easier. Okay, then come in with this and pop that in at the top. Okay, and that sits on there like that, looking the part. Okay, very, very nice. Right, that's that one on. Then we've got the front mid tower. It's going to sit like that. Then we've got the upper bridge part. Okay, just making sure that all fits in. Bit of a squash. Okay, all good. Then we've got the reactors on the top. So that's these two parts here. Okay, so they're just going to squeeze together. We should have two of these. Okay, they're just going to squeeze together. So that's both of those done. Then we've got the communications array for the top, and then we've got the actual bridge part itself and the rear part of the bridge. I'm just wondering how this is all going to fit together. So looking at it, I'm assuming it's something like right, okay, how are they doing it? Let's just try and follow their rules. That goes down in there. These guys go in, they're pegged. Got a tiny little key at the front. You can see it just there. It's only got one key. That goes in the slot. Okay, which is pretty important, otherwise I don't think it'll fit. So that goes in the key slot, and again, looking for the tab. Oh, I know what it is. These are actually on a slant. That's it. So the reason they're like this is because they're slanting slightly, so if it doesn't feel right, you can take them off. Okay, so the slot will go to the one behind on this one, you see. So you can see it's on like a slantward going downwards. Okay, then we have the array has got to fit in. Which goes in like that. And then the two halves, hopefully, if you've done it right, should squish together, which is a tight old fit. So pushing down, and we're going to give it a nudge. That's what we're saying about this key device. Again, probably got a little bit of flash in there that doesn't help. We've probably got a little bit of flash in there that doesn't help, and that's what's ruining this joint. Okay, so what we're going to do is try and back this out and take care of it a bit more. Okay, which is pretty possible. So what we're going to do is just going to pop in with a knife, and we're just going to slightly clean this little guy off. Okay, I'm thinking of this little guy as well. Might help, might not. It just depends on how it goes. Probably not. Okay, so we are going to have to come in with a little bit of filler and some work, but really, hey, it's only two things that have gone wrong so far. Okay, so with that done, we can come off, and then this is going to plug and slide in this. And that is our Star Destroyer really looking the part. Very, very happy with that. That's actually pretty good. I'm looking around at it now and I'm thinking, right, we've got a gap down there. We'll point them out before we go through the motions of doing it. Okay, so last up we've got these guns, which are, to be honest, the little lasers, which are going to be just push fit, and these actually maneuver around on here. So there is no left and right. They are literally all just going to go in, and then you can put the gun turrets exactly whichever way you want them. Personally, I think these could do with a drop of glue. They're very loose. So great for the kids playing. A little bit tense for everything else. All right. So there we go. I don't know how long this has taken us. Not long at all. A little bit of clicky there. So there we go. Done. Absolutely fantastic. As I said, this is one of those things, it's great for the kids. The kids are going to love this. God, if I'd had this Christmas Day in around about 1980, I would have been in my absolute element, because I was what I've always wanted, okay, but there was none around. And having a thing of building it, I think, is exceptional. I have to say, and I'll be honest, this is probably the best thing Revell's ever made, but then I'm biased because it's Star Wars and all the rest of it. But I'm looking now, you know, subjective head on, great quality plastic. This thing is really strong. The kids will be able to play with this, but at the same time, for us modelers, this thing's perfect because, let's face it, okay, these are nothing but horrible, okay? So we will take care of that, and this is what we're going to do in part 2. We're going to fill these up. We're going to fill this up because that's horrible anyway, all right, and everything else like that. We're going to take care of the small little marks and holes and gaps that this thing's got around on it. It's got a few little tiny bits I want to take care of, but really, if you're thinking, I'm thinking, these bays on the underside, okay, 1 problem. 2, it's got 2 small gaps here at the front I want to take care of. 3, 4, this stuff around the bridge is 4 points of filler. A little bit of sanding work. We're going to be clever with it. We're going to actually use water-based fillers just so it's easier to clean up than it would be using styrene fillers or hot products and everything else like that. And then we can just get a coat of primer over this and paint it. And painting it will be exactly the same as I did that beast up there. So from my point of view, this thing is nothing short of perfect. Absolutely beautiful. So there we go. That is it. Kids, enjoy it, love it. It's a Star Destroyer, fantastic, okay? Join me though, part 2, which will be up in a couple of days' time, where we actually take care of all of these gaps and we're going to paint and weather it.